In September 2021, my husband of 10 years lost his battle to COVID-19, and I never imagined becoming a widow at the age of 36. I had 3 young kids to take care of, and I could not fathom the future. It is at that moment that I came to grips with grief. Now, what is grief? According to psychology today, grief is the acute pain that accompanies loss. But if you ask me, grief is something that you have to go through personally for you to understand what it is all about. Now, around that time, during the loss, I used to work with a client who used to manufacture aromatherapy products. And he had sent me a diffuser, an essential oils diffuser, and also boxes of oils for me to test. Now, I was into marketing, especially in the online space. And in the midst of all the panic of becoming a widow at a young age here in Africa, I started exploring the possibilities of using essential oils, at least to alleviate my suffering. Now, I tested a few oils, and I'm going to give you the breakdown of these oils. So I started research on a few oils that would alleviate the feelings of grief. And grief is a very complicated feeling because it could come as a form of anger. It could also manifest as depression. It can also be what you call the stages of grief, which include bargaining, can also be denial. And these stages are all over the place. So today you may feel anger, tomorrow you feel depression and anxiety. So I decided to start with the most recommended essential oil, which was lavender. And I decided to at least diffuse some lavender every morning. And then the following day I would diffuse chamomile. So on days when one would feel sluggish during the grieving period, I would use ginger essential oil. It has an energy, it's a herb that is energizing, and I found it very, very helpful. And ginger as a herb is native to Asia and more specifically China, and it is widely available here in Kenya and all over Africa. And it was an awesome oil to use. Now, the best way to use these oils is as synergies. This just means that you should blend them, like get 2 or 3 essential oils, get a few drops, mix them and diffuse them, or use them in an inhaler. You can also put a few drops on your pillow and just sniff the scents. This is the very first time that I had interacted deeply with essential oils to help me cope with grief. So after diffusing and even putting a few drops of oil on my pillow every night, I found some positivity. I found some relief. So one of the best oils for me to diffuse was lavender. And I came later to realize that there were studies that have been done in 2005 that included 200 participants. These participants were dealing with anxiety, depression, and even anger. Most of them, after the trial period, they found some relief. So in another study of chamomile essential oil, it found that this oil can help general anxiety disorders. And this is a critical thing when it comes to treating depression and anxiety. So chamomile is effective for general anxiety disorder or generalized anxiety disorder. Another great oil that I didn't stop diffusing at that time was bergamot. Bergamot is a very interesting scent because it is citrus and it has this uplifting feel when you sniff it. It has this energizing, uplifting. At the same time, it can calm you down. So another great essential oil that I found effective was bergamot. Bergamot is a citrus oil because it is derived from the bergamot orange. So bergamot is commercially grown in the Ivory Coast and it is native to southern Italy. This was one of the most interesting scents at that time that gave me some sort of relief from grief, from that feeling of depression, anxiety, and loneliness at that point. So I would mix with lavender and chamomile and form a synergy which worked to uplift like 10x the feeling. Now, for those who prefer to use essential oils in a topical way, that means on your skin, you can still use them, just dilute with a carrier oil. One of the best is jojoba oil or coconut oil. If you have sweet almond, it's also another good carrier oil. Just dilute with a 2% ratio, and that will work to help you. You just apply on all the points that you may want throughout the day so that you can see you can sniff the essence of the essential oil. Now, if you don't understand what it means to use 2% dilution of essential oils, stay tuned. In a future video, I'll break down the dilution ratios so that you can understand how to use essential oils safely topically on your skin. And it is very dangerous to use them neat meaning without dilution. So it's always advised never to use a potent essential oil on your skin. It is always advised never to use a potent essential oil on your skin. Make sure it is diluted and diluted using the right ratios. So on the list of my top essential oils for grief are lavender and chamomile. So according to my research, I found out that starting with lavender, the active compounds or ingredients are linalool and linalool acetate, which is anxiolytic. Anxiolytic just means that it works to reduce anxiety. That's the reason why that essential oil works. Also, chamomile is rich in terpenoids. These terpenoids include components called chamazulin. Now, chamazulin is a very helpful compound with anti-inflammatory compounds and benefits. And these are some of the technical, I do not want to get into more technical details, but you can see that the active compounds in these essential oils make them very potent when it comes to grief and grieving processes. So one of the best ways and easiest ways for me to use essential oil is to use a nebulizing diffuser. So I just place my few drops of essential oil. This is ginger fresh. It's a bit viscous and thick. It may take some time. Essential oils come with different properties, different elements therein. So once you put the oil there, then I just turn on and the oil just starts diffusing immediately. This nebulizing diffuser delivers 100% essential oils into the atmosphere compared to other diffusers. You know, there are diffusers that use what you call water, which can degrade the oils. So with this diffuser, there is no need to use water and does not come with plastic parts. This is proprietary glass and this is plantation hardwood. So these elements do not cause something we call off-gassing. Off-gassing is when these elements mix or interact with the oils to degrade. So this is the best way that I use personally, and I would advise, because these oils are delivered 100% therapeutic to your system. Now it has been 3 years almost since I lost my husband, and I can say that grief is something that you never really eradicate. This is just something you learn how to cope with. You literally develop the skills to cope with grief. And the good thing is that using essential oils can help distract your mind in a positive way. Sometimes with grief, you just have to distract your emotions. You have to divert them to something positive. And that's what essential oils did for me personally. I removed the focus on the negativity and I drew them to these wonderful smelling scents, and it worked for me. And even today, I use essential oils when I feel low, when I feel anger, when I feel depression. This is just a way to give your mind something else to think about. And I can say it's a positive thing to do. And for all those people who believe in God, you know, in Genesis, I think Genesis 1:29, it says that God has given you all the herbs that bear seeds. in this whole world so that you may use for your good. And I'm sure that God put all these herbs and plants in place with healing properties in them so that we can find relief, we can find help. So if you found value in this information, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and also share with your friends, and also keep for future reference. If you have any questions, you can just reach me through the email there, or you can just visit our website, aromatherapy.com. Remember, our biggest wish and prayer for you is that you may be whole and well.